Alright, welcome back to another CoD Lessons, Discovering the Scar. I call it that because, as some of you might have heard me say in past videos, I occasionally bash the Scar around. And that's because compared to the FAL and the AN, the Scar's accuracy just does not compare. Yes, it is strong, but when you're shooting the Scar at a good range, at a long range, it just does not cut it. And that's why, for me, I just was not convinced that the Scar was good. And I had this opinion before Ghosts came out, when I was playing Black Ops 2. And I had tried the Scar a number of times, and as I said, I was not convinced that it was a good assault rifle. I want something with accuracy, like the AN or even the Type 25 and the FAL. And I felt this way up until about 5 days ago when I unintentionally picked up the Scar, and I did really well with it, and I was surprised. And you can see a link to the video on the right. I was pleasantly surprised at how well the Scar performed, and I realized that, wow, I was just using the Scar the wrong way. I believe that the Scar should be used on these short to somewhat medium range maps, like here on Overflow. You should use the Scar on Overflow. I hope this video convinces you why you should use it, and in addition to showing you why the Scar is just awesome on these short to medium range maps, because it has great damage and its accuracy is okay, and that's why you should use a Scar on these short to medium range maps like Overflow. And also I'll be showing you why you need stock and how to play the corners and the importance of leaning, which I don't think a lot of you players, I don't see you guys leaning, and in my opinion, if you're not leaning, you're just not good. So let's see how it goes here. Let's speed this up a little bit. But prior to this match, let me just pause one more time. Forgive me for a second. Prior to this match, I didn't have stock, and when you play without stock, it's like, oh my gosh, you feel like you have weights. Like you have like a 2-ton chain ball strapped to your leg. You just feel so slow. And prior to like I said, prior to this match, I didn't have stock, and then this one, I finally had stock. And then when you make that change from no stock to equipping stock, it's like benching. It's like benching 200 pounds, which I cannot do, to benching 150. It becomes so much easier. So in about 2 seconds, 3 seconds, you're about to see why you need stock. Because if you don't have stock, or with stock, you can do stuff like this. You can just rush out and just murder them like that. Now let me just bear with me for a second. Let me just lower the volume here. Oh, that's not volume. Okay, sure, we'll lower that one. We'll lower that one. We will lower that one. Okay, where were we? So let's back it up. I mean, this is why you need stock. You can just come out and just mow them down like that. That's why you need stock, everyone. If you don't have stock, you cannot do stuff like that. Unless you're playing against really bad players, you might be able to get away with it. And then, like I was saying earlier, the accuracy of the Scar is not that great. So as you can see at my sights, there's a guy to the left, and there's a guy a little bit closer to the right. If I went full auto, I would not be able to get these two. That's why I do a little tappity tap tap, and I can get these two guys right here. Just like that, tappity tap tap with the Scar on these at a good range on these short to medium range maps. And the Scar, just when they're at that distance, it just murders people. The only gun that could compare in the hands of a good person is the FAL. But if you come across someone using the AN, say, hold on, let me stop what I'm saying. So here, this is where leaning comes important. I'm playing the corners, and I'm also leaning. So as you see, someone's going to approach, and I lean left here. I lean left. Now, although he wasn't looking at my direction, if he was, and I leaned left, he might have tagged me, but I would have killed him, because my whole body wasn't exposed, because I was leaning left, and his whole body was exposed. That is the main purpose of leaning. And right there, I didn't get that guy, because although I probably should have shot slower, that's where the Scar lacks. It's accuracy at a range, and maybe if I shot slower, I could have got him. Going back to what I was saying earlier, leaning. When you lean, it's the obvious reason. You don't expose yourself as much, and you can still see the target clear as day, like in that last 2 kills ago. Now here, for example, I'm just looking at a car, and what I'm doing here is I am looking at this whole. I'm looking from left to right, right to left, I'm using my peripherals like crazy here, and that's why I'm looking at this car and now these bricks. I'm just looking at the entire map. That's just one technique I use. And then, like I've said previously, there are these ideal placements, in my opinion, to put the sentry. And where I just put that sentry is one of the ideal sentry placements on this map right there. It's just devastating. The Scar up close, it just drops people. Like the Evo for its fire rate up close, the Scar also drops people. Which is why you should use the Scar on the short to medium range maps. And the only way you'll only fail if someone that's good has a foul and he gets the shots off first. But if you and this foul guy get the shots off at the same time, I suspect that it'll be 50-50. But in the hands of when someone's using an AN, you will win, because I will link it to the right, but the science just backs it up. The Scar has more damage, and there's absolutely no reason why the AN player should win. I mean, this link right here, it's pretty cool. It shows all the accuracies of all the guns at a certain range and their damage, and you can compare it to the AN. And I get the silent shotgun here. I mean, yeah, I'm 11-0 already. So again, use the Scar on these short to medium range maps. The only way you might get killed by someone else is if they're using a foul, and that's if that player is absolutely amazing using the foul. And from my experience, they are hard to come by. There are only like a handful of people that I can count that are good with the foul that might kill you while you're using the Scar. For the most part, that will not happen. They're probably going to be using the AN, which in that case, you're going to win here. So let's back it up here. So going back to playing the corners here, this area I got the V set up. If you look at the radar, I got the orbital V set, and in this area on overflow is a nice place to play the corners, where you want to play the corners and use that left lean and right lean. Alright, you probably couldn't tell, I leaned left there, I lean right here. Oh, it's just so sexy. And I think I lean left here again. I mean, look at that, playing the corners, left leaning, right leaning. I just got 3 kills in like less than 10 seconds. I'm 19-0. Can't complain. I got a sentry. That guy whiffed, failed knife. I got a UAV. I'm trying to get the sentry, and then another ideal placement, which is on the other side of the map. You'll see in a second. And I stole that guy's kill because I left laned. I don't really care. I'll take it. Put the sentry down right there. Got another orbital VSAT. It's game over. I mean, it was game over the moment me and Type Ranger joined this lobby. But this is like maybe one of the first few times I'm really using the Scar, and I just absolutely murdered them. Because I realized, as I said at the beginning of this video, that I made this realization: I was using the Scar all wrong. If you are using the Scar on long range maps, you are an idiot. Because if you encounter me, I will get you 100% of the time. You want to use it on these short to medium range maps. So here, we're in this death zone, this maze here, which I love. This is my turf. If I see you in here, I will get you, because you're gonna wanna avoid the players that lean like me. So observe. All right, I get this guy that's not lean, but I lean right. You're dead. Lean left. There's no one there. I think I pushed and I lean left. I lean left right here. I think I go back. I think I lean right. I lied. It's game over. Okay, and then I left lean right there with combination of stock. All right. Let's look at this for a second. Right here, I left lean, and then with stock, I can get these 2 guys. If I didn't, the leaning I probably could have gone away with, but if I didn't have stock, I would not have been able to get these 2 guys right here. Alright, that is just, that's why you want stock, because you're going to encounter situations like that a number of times in Black Ops. Please, if you're not using stock, just uninstall the game. If you're not using stock on the assault rifles, go play Minecraft. Nothing against Minecraft, but you're an idiot. And it's like my third orbital VSAT. I'm 33-0, and then as you can see, I get a third sentry, but it says sentry gun not available. That's pretty lame, but I'm 33-0. I can't complain. I lean right. I was just kidding. I don't lean. Maybe I did lean. And then I can see on the VSAT, there's guys up here, which is where I'm looking up here. I just wait for him, and I can see. And there's actually a few lessons in here. This is situational awareness. One example of situational awareness that I use throughout this entire match, in fact. But let's look at the radar. There's guys right up there. I know they're gonna. This guy where my gun is, Cafe Racer. I can see he is shooting, and if he's shooting, that means on the enemy radar he's given away his position. And that means, like, in addition to seeing them on the radar, even if that VSAT wasn't there, the fact that Cafe Racer is shot, I can expect that the enemy team's gonna look for him. So, putting the VSAT aside, I'm giving Cafe Racer cover by looking at the closest enemy vantage point, and that's right there. Which is why I wait for them, and boom, pops his head. I get the last kill. It's a headshot. I go 36-0 with the Scar, because the main reason is because it's just the ideal map for the Scar. Please try out the Scar with stock. Scar, stock, play the corners, and try it on overflow. And I guarantee you, if you do those three things, I assure you, you will perform much better. So I hope I provide some valuable insight into the mechanics of Black Ops 2. Please share, like, and subscribe. Have a nice day.